Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all to the lecture number 14 for the course of control system. My name is Engineer Jafar Ali and I am instructor for this course. This is our first part of lecture number 14 and let's continue with the recapitulation. So this was our target for this chapter, actually the steady state chapter. So in the last lecture 13 we have discussed about the steady state error for the unity feedback system, that how you can find the steady state error for the unity feedback system. Then we learned about the specifications of a system's ESS on the performance, that how what is the effect of the ESS on the performance of the system. Later on we discuss about the design of the gain, that what will be the value of the K so that it can meet a specific ESS. So we have also done numericals on that. It is not only the case, we have also discussed numericals on all of these topics separately. We've also discussed a formula that how you can basically use this static inputs of Ka, that is position constant. Second one was Kv, that is velocity constant, sorry, Kp position constant, Kv velocity constant, and Ka acceleration constant. So we also discussed these three constants, and based on these three constants how can you find the value of the steady state error for a step function, ramp function, and parabola function. We also learned about the types of the system and which type depends upon which input. These are all the topics that were covered in the previous lecture. So if you haven't learned about these topics, so first you have to go and check that topics. You have to learn that topics before starting today's lecture. So in today's lecture we will be covering the remaining topics of this chapter. Let's go and find it out. So now we are going towards the steady state error for the disturbances that are involved in the process. So you know that for every process, every control system process, there are several inputs and there are some wanted inputs and there are some unwanted inputs. So wanted inputs are that inputs that you want your system to have, but unwanted inputs are that inputs that you do not want your system to have, for example noise or any disturbance or any external noises, etc. So feedback control systems are used to compensate that disturbance. So you have to develop such a feedback control system that basically ignores or compensate this disturbance or unwanted inputs that enter a system without your acceptance or without your permission. So the advantage of using feedback system is that regardless of these disturbances, the system can be designed to follow the input with a small or a zero error. So if you do not follow this feedback scenario, the system will be having a kind of error. So let's go forward. So there are several disturbances that are actually involved in this process. Let's talk about the steady state error for that disturbances. So you can see that this is your reference value that you want. This is your wanted input, and this is also an input that is basically a feedback input, and this is provided to a you can say summer, and this basically evaluates the error signal. And this error signal is then being controlled with a controller that has a transfer function, or you can say forward path gain actually. And this is now being, there is your disturbance. You can see that this is d of s is your disturbance, and this is a signal that you do not want your plant or your process to have. And this is now being added to your system, and this control output is basically now being given to the plant, and this plant process some things on it and it provides the output. So the thing is that this d of s is not your signal and this is your disturbance. So the output of this C of s will be E of s, this E of s multiplied with this G of s, multiplied with this G2 of s. Similarly, this d of s will be multiplied with this g2 of s. These will be your two outputs. This will be your total output, and you know that c of s should be equal to this e of s minus r of s. The c of s should be equal to this reference value minus the error value. So by substituting this value of c of s, this r of s and e of s, you have to put this over here, and then you have to evaluate all the signal for e of s. You have to find this error value. So this error value comes out to be, you can see that if you put the c of s over here and then find e of s, you will be reaching at this equation. I leave it up to you because you are now final year students, so I hope that it is not difficult for you to substitute this value and find the value of e from this equation. You get this value, and you know that this r of s is over here, and these are all the same parameters except this d of s. So if you apply the final steady state or you can say the FET, that is final value theorem, to this equation, you will be seeing that the steady state error will be equal to limit s tends to 0, and as this s tends to 0 applies here, this thing will be shifted as this, and you can represent it er of s, and this thing will be converted into ed of s. So you can see the total steady state error will be equal to the steady state error because of the reference signal and the steady signal because of the disturbance. So this E basically depends upon the steady state error, depends upon two things: the reference error, steady state error, and the error of due to this disturbance. Now we have to find the ESS component due to the step in disturbance for the system shown. So this is a problem. This is a numerical. It is given to us, and we have to only find the steady state error that is produced only because of this disturbance, and this disturbance is basically a step disturbance. So the first thing that you have to calculate is basically the stability of the system. Once the system is stable, so this is all the same thing. The first thing you have to do is basically block diagram reduction, and then you have to find the transfer function and the characteristic equation, and from that characteristic equation, that is the denominator equation, you will have to find the RH criteria table, RH table, and based upon this RH table you will see that if the system is stable or not. If the system is stable, you will proceed to find the ESS, and if the system is not stable, you will not step forward to the checking the ESS actually. So this is already been done, so I will leave it totally up to you. So the conclusion is that the system is stable. Once the system is stable, second thing if you have to do is basically to find the steady state error because of that disturbance. So the formula is given over here: 1 divided by g2 of s, where s tends to 0, and the same thing over here of limits applied on the g of s of 1, g of 1 of s, and the limits is basically from s tends to 0. So if you put forward the value of this g2 of s is nothing but this thing, and g1 of s is 1000. So this thing will go to g2 of s involves s in the output side. So by putting this s is equal to 0, this all thing will go into 0. So this thing becomes 0 from here, and g1 of s doesn't involve s actually. So this thing will be there as it is. So this is 1000 as it is. So 1 divided by 0 plus 1000, and with the minus sign, you know that this is this ed is basically with the minus sign. From the formula in the previous slide, you can see that this is with the minus sign. So this error turns out to be 1 divided by 1000 with a minus sign. So there is a negative error. You can see that this disturbance is producing this disturbance, that is a step in disturbance. This is producing 1 divided by 1000 with a minus sign, negative error of 0.001. So the next topic of today's lecture will be steady state error for non-unity feedback systems. All the systems that we have learned about till now are some systems that had unity feedback systems. But what about the systems which do not have any unity feedback, or they have non-unity feedback? So control systems do not have a unity feedback system because of the compensation used to improve the performance. You do not have always the case that the system is basically unity feedback. Mostly there is a feedback. That feedback is basically, what does this feedback do? This basically provides the stability, or you can say the compensation that is there because of this error. So to cope this error, you have to provide some kind of input in the feedback path. So this is not always the case that the unity feedback is there. So there sometimes, most of the time actually, there is non-unity feedback system. Now we have to see that what this non-unity feedbacks affects on the steady state error. So these are several diagrams. You can see there is one feedback system with the feedback of h of s. There are three feedback systems, three feedbacks, h of s, -1, and with 1 as well. There is 2 with h of s with -2. We have basically combined these two and put it into a 1. This is you can see the cascaded form, and the 1 is always there. And if you basically substitute in this as well, you can get this also. This is the unity feedback. It was also mentioned to you. Now let's do a quick example to understand how does this actually works. So for a system shown, we have to find a system type. That what type of system is this? The appropriate error constant associated with the system type. So if you have find out the system type, you will know that what error type, what associated error, the static error constant will be there, and the steady state error for unit step input. We have to also find that for a step input and unit step input actually, and we have to assume that the input and output units are the same. So this is the transfer function given to us. So after determining the system is stable indeed, one may have to impulsively declare the system to be type 1. This may be the case, or this may not be the case always, since there is no unity feedback system. So the first step involving for this problem to be solved is to convert the system into an equivalent unity feedback system. So you see, we were doing the same thing in the previous slide. We have to convert the system into a proper unity feedback system. So now we have to convert the system into proper unity feedback system. So you can see that, let me highlight all of them. So this g of s was there, that was 10 divided by s into s plus 10. This was not 10, this was 100, sorry, 100 divided by, and the h of s was 1 divided by s plus 5. So if you find the overall controls, this overall this gain of this function, you will be getting this equation. And how do we get this? Basically the formula is the same, g of s divided by 1 plus g of s into h of s. This was the scenario. So this was your system with a no feedback system. You see that if you basically combine this this actually, so you will be getting the same equation. This g of s, this system will be having no feedback or unity feedback. So in order to give it a proper feedback system, so what you have to do, you have to give it a feedback system, unity feedback system. And if you are giving a feedback system, unity feedback, what you have to do in the compensation method, you will have to do a minus g of s over here. You have to do minus g of s over here as well. This is a kind of compensation over here. So to compensate this into a unity feedback system, you have to provide a minus g of s also. Now this system has become a proper unity feedback system. So this will be given to, and this is the same, sorry, and this will be r of s, and the output will be, here will be c of s, and there will be a feedback, unity feedback over here. And the purpose of doing this unity feedback is the same of -1. So that this will cancel the effect of each other and the thing will remain the same. But it doesn't harm our system, but it gives us an edge so that we can find this that type of the system. We can now find the type of the system with very much convenience. So after putting the value of g of s over here and h of s in the denominator, if you put the values, all of these values over here, you will get something like this: 100 divided by 100s plus 5 divided by s cube plus s 15s square minus 50s minus 40 over here. Now if you see that there is no s involved at the outer side, you cannot put take any s common from the outer side. You see that this is a type 0 system. First it was looking that it was a type 0 system, a type 1 system, because of this involved. You can see that in the first look you saw that it may be a type 1 system, but actually when you solved it with a unity feedback system, it turned out to be that it is a type 0 system. So there is no pair integration in the above equation. The appropriate error constant will be the Kp, and you know that the Kp is equal to the same formula s tends to 0, where s is applied, these limits are applied on the steady state error of Gs, and when you put this value 100 multiply by this things will be go to 0, this will be 0, this will be 0, this will be 0, divided by minus 400. So this turns out to be minus 5 by 4. This is your Kp. This is your position error constant, that is minus 5 by 4. And if you want to find out the steady state error for this Kp, this is now the same formula for this unit input. Actually this steady state error is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus Kp. So 1 divided by 1 minus into minus 5 by 4. So it will, this is plus, and this plus when multiplied with this minus turns out to be minus, because this is minus 5 by 4. So this 1 divided by 1 minus 5 by 4 gives us minus 4. When you solve this, you will get the value of minus 4. So the steady state error for such system, which was looking a type 1 system, is now actually turned out to be a type 0, and the steady state value for this equation, this non-unity feedback system, is basically minus 4. This is your numerical for a non-unity feedback system, and I highly recommend, if you go forward and looks for the numericals, same numericals are provided in the books in the skill set as well. So also do the practice as well over there, and I have also provided a solution manual also of the book. So you will the first thing that you also that you have to do is basically practice the same questions at least twice or 3 times or thrice. After that you will be able to solve 1 or 2 examples, and after that if you have any confusions, you can consult that solution manual that I have provided to you on the portal or on the WhatsApp group as well. So this is all for the first part, because the next topic is involving a bit of huge calculations. That is why I have skipped the topic. The next topic is basically sensitivity, so it will take around 20 to 30 minutes for that topic as well. So that I have kept it for the later part. So I'll see you in the second part of the lecture. Regarding this topic, we have discussed 2 topics. Actually, one topic was there, that is disturbance, and the second topic was the steady state error for non-unity feedback systems. The first step is basically to convert your non-unity feedback systems into a unity feedback systems, and after that you will solving the same with the same procedure that you supposed to use in the unity feedback systems for the Kp, Ka and Kv and the steady state errors. So that is all for the first part. I'll see you in the second part. Keep practicing. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.